Here's a peek at what guests had to say after the show.
For the panel, is it possible that the public rushed to judgment with the indictment of Robert Zimmerman? Ooh. Well, what a third rail that one is. I mean, I don't know about the media. I think certainly I would never trust the media necessarily on something where I wasn't there myself. And so I don't know what happened. I mean, you know, this guy could be a racist who did, I mean, I certainly don't think that law belongs on the stand your ground.
And I think it was the media also that pushed. I mean, originally he was essentially let off under Florida's stand your ground law, and it was the media pressure, along with the public, I think, that ultimately helped him get indicted.
Well, you know, the fact of the matter is, I mean, it came out that he was told not to follow this young fellow, and he did, and the young fellow ended up dead. So, you know, that looks bad, but this is the United States of America, so he's going to have a trial. It'll be a fair trial, and then we'll see how it comes out.
Okay. Boris A. says Romney is a moron. I mean Mormon. Oh. But wasn't he right when he said Russia is still our main enemy? What? Oh, for fuck's sake! Really? I'm not even going to answer that. You are too stupid to watch this show, sir. I suggest you watch the Paula Deen show. I mean, you know, the problem, if I can get into this a little, is that when we're getting into Syria, yes, Russia's on the other side of that conflict. So we're kind of putting the Cold War back into the microwave, which is not a good idea. But no, Russia should not. We certainly don't approve of everything they do over there, nor do they approve of us. Everything we do, and some of our stuff is not perfect, but no, they are not the main enemy.
Hardly our main enemy.
Jesus Christ. Michael, is it true that there are agricultural gag bills, I know this, in 4 states that will criminalize journalism on industrial food?
Well, they've been debated in legislatures. I don't think any of them have passed quite yet, but they are seeking to criminalize journalism.
Why was Oprah on trial? Remember that way back in the 90s when Oprah had to go down to Texas?
Right. That's right. Those are in 14 states. It's easier to libel a head of broccoli than a person.
What's a veggie libel?
Oprah,
I thought he slandered the cows
in a way that crashes the market, and she did. She went on. On her show, she heard about mad cow disease, and she just said, "I'm not eating another burger in my life."
Which is an opinion of an American citizen. The idea that you can't say this is insane.
And these laws would never survive a challenge. Well, in most Supreme Courts.
But didn't she have to go on trial? Didn't she have to do her show from Texas?
Millions of dollars defending herself against this Texas
Will she be able to eat?
Unfortunately, she won. Because had she lost, we would have had the constitutional test we need of these laws. But these new ones, these ag-gag bills, criminalize the taking of a photograph of an industrial farm and publishing it without permission.
Oh, gosh. Why spreading sunlight on a situation? Can't have that in America. Bob, with the upcoming Supreme Court rulings on affirmative action next week, do you agree with The Economist that it's a good idea for it to end?
No.
I don't either.
What's missing is that the assumption is that somehow the playing field was leveled in terms of race in this country. That has never been the case. We went through however long the centuries of slavery. We went through the Jim Crow era, then we went through the discriminatory period. Discrimination has not ended. A lot of people would like to believe that it has.
But we have a black president.
Oh man,
and Oprah's a billionaire.
That has really killed the deal in terms of affirmative action and that sort of thing. But the fact of the matter is, 1 in 3 black children in this country is growing up poor. A lot of black families can't afford to send their children to college, and a lot of kids are going through schools that are terrible schools, and then when they graduate, they get a diploma, and then they get into college, they're not up to speed. So,
the argument I always use is, look, if you look at the economic statistics, the average household, black household, is worth maybe like something 11 cents on the dollar versus the white.
Can I tell you something? With whites, I think it was something like the median household income is something like 120 grand, if I have it correct. There there is a few variations on black, but the highest one that I saw is that the median family wealth among African Americans is $5,000. That's no money, and that's the high estimate. I think it came from a Pew survey.
Right.
So if
you look at those statistics together, you have to come to one or two conclusions. One, black people are inferior, and that's why they can't make as much money.
Right.
Or there was some sort of legacy.
Right. Not to mention the fact,
therefore we need to redress that legacy.
The legacy plus the continuing discrimination. There is still a great deal of racial discrimination in this society.
Yeah, they've done studies. People go in with the same qualifications for a job. And, okay. All right. Josh, why do you encourage Republicans to continue trying to repeal Obamacare?
So I have something to write about, I guess.
Yeah, you got a job.
Bored if we didn't have a clown.
Shit doesn't write itself.
I'm stumped.
Yes.
What am I going to say? It's been 37 times. I don't know. I'm even bored to write. It's not even funny anymore. You know, they do it.
They argue. They repeal it 37 times.
They try to repeal it 37 times. Most recently, a couple of weeks ago, because they said there's a new generation of Republicans just got elected, haven't proved their bona fides, their constituents back home, that they want to repeal Obamacare. So what the hell? We'll go for 37. I mean,
well, I know why they're doing it, because Obama is defiant. That's a defiant president. You've got to teach him a lesson.
I wish Obama was defiant.
President Obama...
it's just another exercise like the abortion thing that these guys can take home and say, look, vote for me because I just did this. It's crazy. Huge waste of time.
The problem is they're shooting themselves in the foot, right? They lost an election because they didn't have a broad enough appeal. And what has the House done? We've got fetal masturbation, food stamp removal. They voted to deport the children of illegal immigrants. That's going to win over the might win Paula Dean's vote, but it's not going to win over the minority voters they need. And they voted.
Politics as it seems, because I mean we have two electorates now. We have the one that votes in the midterm election, which elects Tea Party, and we have the one that votes in the main every 4 years, which elected Obama. And if you're playing to that electorate, it's stupid. But if you're looking at 2014,
strategic
it's
thinking.
smart.
If you ever want to win back the White House, and any intelligent Republican, and there aren't a whole lot in Washington, will tell you that, look, ultimately it's for our own good. We need to begin with immigration reform, then broaden out and appeal to minorities, to people in the middle class.
Thinking that way, but some are just thinking about their districts.
I just have
well, most of them are thinking about the districts, but you know, there's a demographic reality. I mean, Lindsey Graham, the South Carolina Republican senator, said last week, you know, our party is in a death spiral if we don't pull out of
all
this.
the right-thinking Republicans are saying that. I just have to believe this has got to be a tipping point. I mean, seriously, the fetal masturbation, that should be it.
I don't know, because they're always tethered to their base. You know,
What is the base, though? What is the base?
He didn't get shouted down, you know, when he said that.
He didn't. That they're always catering to.
Why wasn't Sarah Palin the tipping point? Why didn't they take their cue from that election?
Yeah. Every time you think there's a tipping point, there's not. I mean, Bobby Jindal, who ran back to stupid so fast this week, at the beginning of the year, when they lost their, maybe it was the end of last year, when they lost the election, he said, you know, trying to be courageous, and it was, he said, the Republican Party has to stop being the party of stupid. No. There's a lot of stupid people in this country, and they need representation. That's your client base. You own that.
Plus, Bobby Jindal has no standing on that issue, so he needs
not anymore.
Not what he said. What do you mean? I mean, Bobby Jindal's an intelligent guy.
Did you see what he said this week?
Yeah, but that's, you know, but listen, you could put the same kind of red meat speech in a Democrat's mouth and equal fun of it. Yeah, you could.
No. All right. That's part of the problem.
I'm not going to fight.
That's part of the problem, is that thinking that there is this equivalency of nutso. And there just isn't. There just isn't. I mean, not every Democrat is a prize. We all agree to that. But you never find somebody on the blue team who says the kind of crazy shit that they say and believe the kind of crazy shit they say. I mean, there are smart Republicans who would try to get the people from the Tea Lagoon back onto the reservation. But they're not succeeding. I mean, that's what Karl Rove is trying to do. He's like, stop talking about abortion. We're the Republicans. We want to fuck the living.
I know.
Okay, we got to go. Thank you very much, everybody.
Real Time with Bill Maher, Friday night at 10. Ask Bill and his guests your questions right after the show at HBO.com.